From wild pranks to falling in love.
It was honestly like kissing my brother. It was weird.
The cast of the Harry Potter franchise shared lots of adorable moments with each other.
Our own world.
Do you remember the scene in The Prisoner of Azkaban where all of the Hogwarts students slept next to each other in the Great Hall? Well, it turns out young Daniel Radcliffe saw that moment as an opportunity to get up close and personal with his crush.
And Dan has us to have his sleeping bag next to this particular girl that he fancied.
Not a bad move, right? If you want someone to notice you, then being close to them is a great start. Unfortunately for the boy wizard, he couldn't make magic happen in the love department that day. His butt had other ideas.
In our dreams, we enter completely our own world. You know.
Ew. Did you hear that? Tell me that wasn't you, Daniel.
World. And we like to swim in the deepest waters and fly.
Now, are you ready for the big twist? It wasn't Daniel's butt that caused the uproar after all. It was Alan Rickman's mischievous sense of humor. He embarrassed Daniel in front of the cast and crew. But what exactly was the method to his madness?
He put a fart machine, a remote control fart machine, in the rucksack next to my sleeping bag in a scene with 365 other kids.
But Daniel was able to laugh at his own humiliation because, well, farts are hilarious, right?
But no, it was actually very funny. And it was in between me and Devon Murray, who plays Seamus, and it was funny because we both instantly turned around and blamed each other.
However, fart pranks are mild compared to James and Oliver Phelps' cheeky behavior. Their pranks were so mischievous that you'd swear they were their on-screen personas in real life. While filming The Order of the Phoenix, the troublesome twins got access to some walkie-talkies and got in touch with construction workers who were laboring away on a nearby street. So James and Oliver did what any decent teenager would do, pretended to be the workers' boss and told them to go home for the day. The workers obliged and the construction site was shut down as a result. Understandably, people weren't too happy with the dastardly duo.
Just trying to diffuse the tension.
But as George recalls, they had the perfect excuse for their actions. We were kind of given free rein because we could just claim we were method actors and we needed to be able to express ourselves. At least their hearts were in the right place. They saw the workers and figured, hey, these guys deserve a break. But what do you think, dear viewers? Is that a valid reason for closing down a construction site?
I've always felt our futures lay outside the world of academic achievement.
James and Oliver weren't the worst Weasley actors on the Harry Potter set, though. That dishonor goes to Rupert Grint. Ron might always be scared and grumpy.
Oh no!
But Rupert was a little too happy for his own good.
Rupert finds everything funny.
Basically, Rupert just couldn't get through a take without having a laughing fit, especially during the scenes in which he was supposed to be serious and intimidating. Here's Ron being a badass and defending Harry.
Has anyone else got a problem with Harry?
Now watch Rupert fluff his lines because he was in on a joke that only he seemed to know about.
You just shut your mouth. I do. Just shut your mouth.
These incidents weren't few and far between either. Several of Rupert's co-stars have confirmed that his giggles disrupted the production on a regular basis.
Rupert is the worst for laughing. He does it all the time, and you'll ask him, what will you laugh at? And he goes, I don't know.
It's all the time. You can't stop him once he starts. And apparently he's done that since day one.
At the end of the day, though, that's all part of Rupert's cute charm. And so is his terrible dancing.
Right. Put your right hand on my waist.
Where?
On my waist!
Rupert Grint was definitely the worst dancer on the Harry Potter set, and he certainly didn't make Maggie Smith's life easy as a result.
I had to try to teach Rupert to dance the other day. That was pretty strenuous.
In fact, the actor's dancing was so bad that it actually led to him becoming a laughingstock among some of his co-stars. They took the Mickey right out of him.
When we came off the set, Rupert was like, he just looked at us and said, don't say anything, just don't say anything. So of course we had to say something to him.
Poor Maggie Smith. Dancing with that silly goose must have been excruciating for the actress. It wasn't all bad, at least. Michael Gambon had a blast waltzing with Maggie in preparation for the dance between McGonagall and Dumbledore.
And at one point I have to lift her up high like that, and she slides back down. That's all.
Emma Watson was a much better dancer than Rupert Grint, too. But it also took her a minute to perfect the required moves. However, Emma must be given credit for leading Daniel Radcliffe through a competent dance. He wasn't exactly Michael Jackson on the floor at the time. Look at his awkward footwork here. Say what you will about Daniel's dancing skills, at least he worked hard to learn the craft. Matthew Lewis wasn't as enthusiastic about getting better.
I'd like to be able to dance, but I just don't want to learn, if you know what I mean.
But what else do you expect from a guy who refused to keep up with his schoolwork?
Do you always train at lunch?
I sometimes do homework I should have done the night before, which I should actually be doing now. I've got some in for one of the tutors, which I haven't done.
Forget about pranks and dancing, though. Nothing in this world is cuter than young love. But romance was an awkward experience for the young Harry Potter cast back in the day. Daniel Radcliffe certainly enjoyed smooching Katie Leung.
The kiss was quite, it was fun.
But he was nervous about having to perform in front of other people. At least until Katie eased their nerves by creating a perfect environment for locking lips.
They made sure that the set was closed and there was minimal people inside. And they sort of dimmed the lights. I don't know if it was so it would be less intimidating or if it was going to be more romantic.
That being said, Daniel and Katie's kiss was a piece of cake compared to Daniel and Bonnie Wright's big romantic moment. Bonnie couldn't believe that she'd have to make out with her co-star when she read the script.
People kind of always go, oh, did you expect that to happen? Did you always think that? And I was completely shocked when I read it.
Understandably, it took the actors dozens of takes to perfect the scene, and not because they were looking for excuses to keep making out. Let's just say the butterflies weren't flying in anyone's belly that day.
No, it was weird. I'd never done anything kind of on film like that.
The kissing shyness among the young actors was certainly adorable. At the end of the day, though, they were just doing their jobs and not really in love. But there were some crushes behind the scenes on the Harry Potter flicks.
Between sort of the ages of 10 and 12, I had a really terrible crush on Tom Felton.
Hermione and Draco didn't exactly get along with each other, but Emma Watson was head over heels for Tom Felton. He was the cool kid on the Harry Potter set, and she couldn't resist his bad boy ways.
We love a bad guy, and he was a few years older, and he had a skateboard.
Wow.
And that just did it, really.
Well, you had me with skateboard.
I know.
According to Emma, Tom knew that she was googly-eyed for him at the time. Sadly, he didn't feel the same way.
Is that he turned me on, he's like, oh, I see her in like a younger sisterly way. And it just broke my heart.
Emma's pretty convinced that Tom knew about her feelings back in the day. Tom, meanwhile, had a different recollection of the events.
No, not really. I mean, I heard it through the grapevine, and then eventually, we became good friends, and we can laugh about it now. But
Emma did get some action while shooting the Harry Potter movies, though. Hermione and Ron's kiss was an iconic moment that touched our souls, and the actors had so much chemistry that it was easy to buy into their characters' romantic journey. Therefore, it's pretty heartbreaking to learn that sparks didn't fly between Rupert and Emma behind the scenes.
The only way it was honestly like kissing my brother. It was weird.
That's Emma's view on the matter. But how did Rupert feel about kissing her?
Neither of us were looking forward to it, because, it's always going to be quite a strange thing, I think, kind of kissing a friend, really, someone I've known for kind of...
Look at the bright side. At least Ron and Hermione got to live happily ever after, and they probably kissed each other lots of times. Now it's time to grab the tissues. All good things come to an end eventually, and Harry Potter was no different. The last day of shooting was an emotional experience for everyone. But it's pretty awesome to see how much the franchise meant to everyone involved.
Gonna miss play Ron.
And I feel very privileged to have played Hermione.
Because I don't know what my day-to-day life consists of without you, all of you.
The Harry Potter gang grew up together and made friendships that will last forever. And that's the most magical thing about this franchise. If you want more behind-the-scenes content from the Harry Potter franchise, be sure to check out our video on the CGI versus practical effects. Thanks for staying awesome with us.